Good afternoon, Coldwell Banker. Welcome to the Mile High View. Thank you so much for spending the next hour or so with us. We have an amazing lineup today. I have Todd Moyer here. He's going to be talking about Perfect Pitch, and he has brought some amazing agents with him. We have Ann Carlson out of our Fort Collins office. We have Preston Gaspar out of Global Luxury, and Lori Delaney from our North Metro office. But before we get started, I have a couple of shout outs. So first of all, to Louie Lee. Louie, thank you so much for helping us raise money for CB Cares with your amazing 100 holes of golf in one day.
Yes.
Very fun. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank everyone who donated. A couple of shout outs. South Metro raised $1,350. Thank you so much, South Metro. And our Global Luxury office raised $1,175. And all in, we were just under $4,000. So thank you to everyone who donated. And Louie, thank you so much. And I hope you're still resting after that amazing day.
Wow.
One last reminder, your agent success package renews July 1st. You do have an opportunity to renew now and pay for the entire year. Remember, the ASP is designed with two things in mind, to protect you and to promote you. If you have any questions, please reach out to your success coach or your branch manager. All right, Mr. Moyer.
Yes. Hello.
You have been traveling the state,
Yes.
visiting every office, talking about Perfect Pitch.
Yes.
Tell us what Perfect Pitch is all about.
So first of all, it was super fun, and I was able to engage with lots of agents throughout all of our offices, and it was truly all about their value statement, and really to develop a value statement, but also perfect it, and hence the perfect pitch. So yeah.
Cool. So why is this important right now?
Yeah, right now, especially with all the things swirling around, right, in the universe that we're in real estate, but more importantly, it's truly about demonstrating what you bring to the table when you're working with your buyers and sellers, and being able to articulate it, right? And we did that as a part of this workshop, 3 different ways. We covered and focused on credibility, and so what the trust that you build and bring to your clients, what your competencies are, and then also relevance, right?
Sure.
And how you are relevant on a regular basis in front of your clients, or just everyday life, right? When it comes to real estate. And then how do you differentiate yourself with the competition? What do you offer that's different?
Okay, awesome. You going to walk us through the steps a little bit?
Yeah. So
All right.
what we'll do is, as part of the exercise, part of the workshops, the agents would come up with the different adjectives, terms that best suit their style of doing business, or what their credibility is, relevance, and of course their differentiation. And so from there, we would take those words that they came up with, and we entered them into AI, which is now, of course, Copilot. It's Microsoft Copilot. And that is really where the magic happened.
Okay, so what was the most intriguing part of this session for you?
What was really interesting is the fact that, a lot of the different terms or adjectives that the agents would come up with, and we would share that as part of the exercise. Under each category, I'd ask them to sort of share, what words you came up with. And then from there, and some of the words were similar, right? Because we were kind of working off a similar sheet, or it's just the nature of what we do in this business. But in every single case, when we took those words and we entered them into AI Copilot, not one of them were the same value propositions. Not a single one of them, which was just mind-boggling.
Sure.
And to think that, that it was just amazing. I thought it was pretty cool that happened. So
that's great. So you have invited 3 amazing agents to talk about their experience with Perfect Pitch.
Yep.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce them and take it away?
Absolutely. So we have Ann Carlson here from the Fort Collins office. Thank
Hello.
you for being here.
Thanks for having
we
me.
have Preston out of the Global Luxury office, and then we have Lori out of the North Metro office. So thanks so much for being here. I will quickly move seats, and here's your microphone. And one thing I'll share with you here is this is some video footage of them actually rehearsing, practicing their pitch. And in every single case, I recorded everybody on camera reading, reciting, rehearsing their pitch, which was really cool. And everybody was so engaged with it, excited about it. And yeah, it was just a fun exercise. So as I said, Anne and Preston and Lori, thank you for your time. So let's start with Lori. Before you attended the first workshop, what were your expectations? When you came into this, what were you thinking?
Well, I actually just expected to learn more cutting edge vocabulary marketing wise to be able to differentiate myself better with my pitch. I actually had no idea it had anything to do with introducing an approved AI tool. In fact, up until this workshop, I was pretty reluctant to use AI, but then when Todd introduced it as a trusted source that Coldwell Banker endorses, I embraced it. So it was pretty exciting to use it for the first time.
Love it. Thank you. How about Anne? What were some of your expectations, or what were you thinking coming into the workshop before you arrived?
So for me, I already had my value proposition or statement, if you will, completed. I honed it a little bit. I didn't have a lot of expectations, but I love sharing, and I really wanted to role play and find out what everyone else's were. And kind of work together and collaborate on that.
Good. Preston, how about you?
Yeah, I think that for me, the answer is I had no expectations, and I was really blown away by the Microsoft Copilot AI, because that I'd never used it before, and it truly made you start thinking of other ways it can be utilized and help clarify things. So it was really, really great.
Now, before you arrived, and for all of you, you probably tried ChatGPT, right?
I live in AI,
Yeah.
pretty much. I don't really send an email out or even a text at this point without it being AI approved.
Yeah.
I really don't, because it really is a relationship now that I have.
Yeah.
And now, with Copilot now, and they get to know you and they get to know your tone. And so this was just the perfect enhancement of that.
Awesome. And Microsoft Copilot is a great platform, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's really clean and simple, and it does a nice job. So, Preston, as far as activities go during the workshop, what would you say was one of your favorite activities?
Well, I thought it was really great, everyone getting together and, talking about what resonated with them. And that really kind of created new ideas and really it helped everyone really kind of break out of their shell. I think a lot of times you get a little nervous saying why I'm good, and this exercise forced you to identify exactly what makes you special, and something makes everyone special.
Yeah.
So
Unique, special, and we all have a value proposition, but how do you hone in on that? So,
correct.
Lori, how about you? What was your favorite activity?
Yeah, I really enjoyed collaborating with my coworkers, especially I took the class with Shirley Wilcox.
Oh, yeah.
She's been doing this for 5 decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was really neat to hear her ideas. And I just think that, I actually hadn't used Chat GPT yet.
Okay.
And so partnering with Copilot and helping assist me in crafting a value statement was really eye-opening, and to me, it removes the roadblock of just getting started when you're trying to come up with something, either marketing-wise or for your value statement.
True.
It's neat. How about Anne? Any activities?
Let's see. I loved when you put all the different values and adjectives on the screen.
Right.
But the point of that, you have to believe what you're writing. And it has to be true to your business, and it really has to resonate through your entire brand, every single thing you do. So I chose 4 words and then said, hey, Copilot, write me a statement with these words. And I think I had it rewritten like 10 times, and I told you every single one. But really holding true and believing what you're saying. But I loved all of those adjectives up there.
Well, and what I loved about yours in particular, I remember you started to weave in global luxury.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that is who I am.
And it really started to recraft your position.
I don't just sell homes, I sell a lifestyle.
Yeah, that was so neat. So as far as kind of understanding the value proposition, what was on a scale of 1 to 10, Anne, what was, where would you rate
where I am now? The whole thing, I will give it a 10 plus. Like Preston was saying, I love to be in front of the camera and talk and do all of the things, but I am finding that many of my cohorts don't like to do that. So I think it really brought them out of their shell, because they need to be with clients and they need to be singing from the rooftops all of the value that they bring and all of the wonderful things about themselves. So, yeah, that's kind of, I like the role playing. I like just being with my counterparts.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
How about Lori?
I would give the workshop a 10 because I thought it was very, very valuable. I would give working with Copilot probably an 8 because I'm still learning how to effectively work with it, because I think it takes a lot of refinement and practice in doing so to get it to sound like yourself. And so I'm ongoing, continue to use that for personal and professional ways. And I have found it very enlightening to be able to plug in like different selling situations or types of buyers and sellers when I'm kind of stuck and I don't know what to say. So I think that's been really valuable to me.
So Preston, the workshop, has it helped you be able to better articulate your value, and if so, why?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things that we all discussed in class were sometimes some of the setbacks that we had, some of the challenges, how we can make that into some of our talking points. You know, in real estate, things do not always go smoothly. So how can you kind of express your value to potential clients and kind of give them, you know, so that they're confident in how you can, you know, navigate sometimes choppy waters.
Yeah. And have you started being able to use the refined version of your
Oh,
value statement?
100%. And kind of like Preston was saying, it's not like I'm not running for political office, so I'm not going to give you my 30-second commercial all of the time, but I'm so comfortable saying it and I believe it because it's true, that I do pick out little parts here and there every time I'm talking with a client or a soon-to-be client. Yeah.
Lori, do you want to add anything there?
I think that is truly the case. I think you have to really modify and mold it so that it really becomes you and sounds like you, and then you're going to use it more often, and then you do take parts and pieces according to your audience. So if you're at a cocktail party versus at the grocery store, you know.
Right on. So speaking of putting it into action, how about we
Who's going
start
first?
with Anne, unless anyone wants to
I will
jump
go
in.
first.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Not
I will
putting
give
you on the
mine.
spot by any means.
Oh,
but,
I love being on the spot. Okay, we
let's hear
ready?
your statement.
Okay. And I don't have it totally memorized because I kind of go off the cuff. Okay. I am Ann Carlson, global luxury broker with Coldwell Banker in Northern Colorado. I don't just sell homes, I sell a lifestyle. With access to the latest market insights and strategic marketing options, I ensure a smooth transaction. As a dedicated advocate, I provide clear communication and I will be with you throughout your entire journey. Now it's a little off there. I can't remember that one. Let's collaborate and make your real estate dreams a reality.
Bam.
So my big things that I wanted in there, advocate,
Yep.
communication, luxury, and relationship based.
Yeah.
So I am with you through and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So authentic
Yep.
and true. So how about
Yeah.
Preston? Are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do it.
All right, so I'm Preston Gaspar with Coldwell Bankers Global Luxury Office. I bring to the table kind of a unique combination in that I'm a problem solver that really works well with people. I'm a numbers guy who also, because I believe numbers tell a story. And then I'm also someone who really, really, really likes contracts. And when I look at kind of real estate in general, it's like I'm the captain of your ship. We need to stock up all the provisions to set sail, and we don't know what's going to happen on sea, but you know, all these tools come to play, and I hope to work with you.
Nice.
I like that.
Perfect.
Captain of his ship.
Fantastic. How about Lori?
I'm Lori Delaney with Coldwell Banker North Metro, and as a dedicated real estate resource, I offer expertise with unwavering commitment. From townhomes to luxury properties, I assist buyers and sellers alike finding and selling dream homes. I am proactive, keeping clients informed throughout the process every step of the way. I help turn possibilities into reality, find spaces that align with lifestyles, and create wealth through home ownership. Together, we will establish a partnership to open doors to your greatest aspirations.
Excellent.
Nice job. Fantastic. So, kind of a last wrap up question for each of you. What was your aha moment throughout the whole experience?
Are you looking
Ann,
at me?
looking at you.
Okay. So for me, and this is for all of you out there too, this is one piece of your business.
Yeah.
So the aha moment is you have to figure out who you're marketing to first, who's your ideal customer, building your brand. This is one piece that fits within your brand. And so own it, write it, take the time to write it, own it, and believe it and say it. So
Aha.
aha.
Well, I think it's something that can be utilized, certainly in everyday conversations with people, but also on social media, like videos that could live on your website. And and going back to one of the questions you had about, how you would rate, the experience.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I really think this is a must. I imagine every single Compass agent or Liv Sotheby's agent, has their talking points. So we have to have ours. I'm a competitive person, so that really kind of drove me to really take this seriously and have my own pitch and be confident in that as I take listing appointments and stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. How about Lori?
I would say that we have yet another great tool from Coldwell Banker and to use to market ourselves and our listings and even other things like possible blogs. I mean, there's a lot of places you could take this, but it's becoming a more competitive climate. And what I see is, just like social media and videos usage became so paramount. I see AI becoming the next go-to application that others are using. So in order to stay relevant, I feel like we have to use it to enhance our own marketability.
Fantastic. Love it so much.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you, each of you, for taking the time to spend some time with us and sharing your thoughts, your ideas, and the overall value proposition workshop experience. So stay tuned. In the near future, we'll be back out in offices doing the Perfect Pitch workshop, and so watch for that in the near future. So can't wait. And I think with that, Tammy, are we turning it back over to you?
I think so.
Fantastic. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Todd.
Thank you.
We have a lot of movement going on up here today. Thank you guys so much. Todd, thank you. That was really interesting and fun to hear your perfect pitches. Awesome job. Next up, we have Shannon Pace coming to us from a South Metro office. Her and your team, your Fresh Start group, right?
That's it.
Welcome, Shannon. So Shannon is going to talk to us about everything open house. But before we do that, I would like to showcase one of your videos.
Let's see it.
Welcome to this charming home in Denver. It is only 5 minutes away from Cherry Creek, easy to get to downtown Denver, and even an easy commute to DTC. When you come in, you're going to see this awesome kitchen, and the great room is fantastic. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go inside and check it out for yourself? Isn't this place fantastic? It's even better in person. Give me a call. I'd love to show it to you.
Beautiful listing.
Thank you.
Very nice. Love the video.
And thank you to Rockin' Media. They were awesome in helping me to get through that video too.
Awesome. And I love the pink, by the way.
Thanks. Right?
I just had to throw that in there.
Right.
There we go. So there's a little bit of a success story with this listing. So talk to us about that. What has just happened?
So this is exciting. We ended up having an open house with the listing, and the buyer came through the open house and made an offer, and we're under contract. And we're so excited for that. Before that, Tree Laura had it as a listing, and they couldn't sell it. So Coldwell Banker did.
Coldwell Banker and Shannon.
Shannon.
Yes.
Yes. That was great.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
the buyer came from an open house.
It did. It absolutely did. And actually, my $1 million listing in Centennial, also, the buyer came through the open house. So buyers are coming through open houses.
Wonderful. So I'm assuming, are they working with an agent? Are they unattended?
Great question. So we see both. So
Okay.
we are seeing a lot of buyers that are represented, but we are seeing those people that are just starting their process and are looking for an agent as well.
Okay, awesome. So let's start at the very beginning.
Yes.
How do you prepare for an open house? How long does it take you? How far out do you start to plan?
That's a good question. So from the beginning, I like to advertise well, first of all, you need to talk to your clients. Make sure they're okay with an open house and explain to them why you're doing it. I think sometimes the sellers have a perception that it's for the agent to get a new client. So I think it's important for us to really have we're going to sell your home on mind, and whoever's hosting it, that's your goal. So you start with that. And then we try to do our advertisement on it on Wednesday or Thursday, because you want the showing activity to be continuing through it. We produce a social media slide. So the social media slide goes out on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We kind of keep it all the same, and it tells people when the open house is going to occur. And then I just make sure it's also in admin, so it goes across to everybody, which is in your My Desk.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah,
You have a plan.
I do. I'm
Okay.
a girl with a plan.
Okay. So tell us, what do you do differently at your open houses? What does set Shannon apart?
So I think some of the things in the preparation is what sets us apart. If it's my own listing, I'm doing reverse prospecting to other agents that have it saved or as a match. And I also reach out to all Coldwell Banker agents, because who else do you want to work with but somebody you might know?
Sure.
Which would be fantastic. So I send out the same text message. Okay, emails, no, because we get too many a day. So text message, and make sure to put the agent's name in it, because that way they read it and they know it's going directly to them. It takes some time, so you're going to need to set aside some time, but it is very effective in trying to get an actual buyer to the open house. So that is something that I do different, and I think it has been effective in actually getting these buyers in.
Awesome. So what about signs?
So signs still work, right? I was talking to Joni Jagger, and we were laughing about how a lot of people come through and you ask them, where did you see it? And they're like, well, I saw it online, but I found it from your signs. So it's still important to do those signs. And I think it's still important to have those balloons. I was told before by another Coldwell Banker agent that if you're going to have the signs on a corner, to do 2 signs maybe, and then have the balloons up there. Now, do know the regulations. If there are certain areas you cannot have open house signs, and if you put them, they will take them. So do not do that. So just know before you get all your balloons in preparation.
Yes, that's one of the keys of open houses, right? You're going to lose a sign.
Right. And then one thing that can happen is LaDawn Sperling was putting out open signs, and she got a listing appointment from it. So they see her putting out her open house sign. They know you're working, and they're like, hey, we'd like you to come and see our house too. So,
Okay, so funny little story about LaDawn. I was
Yeah.
in a mastermind group with her this morning.
Oh.
And her least favorite thing about open houses is putting out signs.
she hates it.
Yes, she does. That's
She does. Yeah, that is affirmative. She would like that to be not part of it, but she did get a listing appointment off of it.
Awesome. Okay, so did you ever have an open house that was just a bust?
Yes.
Oh, and you stopped doing them?
No. So unfortunately, you're just never going to know which open house is going to be fantastic, right? I mean, some days I'll think, oh yes, I've got all the preparation down. There's not a thing going on. There's no Bronco games. There's no CU games. There's no nothing. And I'm hanging out by myself. So I think it's important that if that happens, that first, I always bring something that I can do. So I'll have a couple handwritten note cards, because I always fall behind on that. So I have some handwritten note cards that I can do. I'll text some people, because you don't want to jump on the phone just in case someone does run in. You don't want to be sitting there trying to wrap up a conversation. So I'll text people that I haven't talked to in a while. And the thing that is important is I do like a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live. So that is really fun. You get a lot of attention from it, and you're able to talk to your sellers. Hey, nobody came through, but we did some social media marketing, and we really feel like we're going to get this out there. And we're going to continue to do our best to get some buyers in here. And don't worry, it's just one open house. We'll get this sold.
Awesome. Okay, so sounds pretty basic. What else? What other tips and tricks can you give us?
Okay, so I think Chris, my gut, really helped me early on by talking about circle prospecting.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy to do. All it takes is your time. You're going to need to hit 10 houses across the street with your flyer or an invitation, and then 10 houses, 5 to the right, 5 to the left, for 20 houses total. And you're going to invite the neighbors to the open house. So I have done that, and I successfully had one person that said, well, you know what, we're not going to come by the open house, but if you can get that guy's house sold down the street, Kevin's, we'd really like his to get sold. Kevin's house had lawn chairs on the roof. It had not been mowed in probably ever, and it had beer cans all over leading to the front door. Well, we door knocked Kevin's derelict house and Kevin answered the door. Yay. And he said, oh, you're hosting an open house? Well, great. When you're done with that, can you come back over? Because I'm thinking about selling. And Kevin, we ended up selling Kevin's home. We found the buyer at the open house, closed that deal, and I bought Kevin's grandma's home as my own investment property. So that open house, I can't even count how much that has made a difference to my family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is so. Did you leave the lawn chairs on the roof?
We staged it, but it was definitely more of a challenging staging type situation. But Kevin was great. He just was younger, and he was house hacking, having lots of people live there, and decided it was time to actually grow up a little bit.
He just needed Shannon.
He just needed a little bit of help.
That's right. Just a little bit of help. So what is the most interesting, unique, craziest open house?
Okay, so you're going to get some interesting people come through, but I would say my craziest open house that I had was several years ago. It had just started snowing. I left for my open house. By the time I get to Parker, it's blizzarding. Okay, so I set up my signs, which I'm pretty sure are going to have snow all over it, and I go ahead and I do a Facebook, and my hair is blowing everywhere, and I'm like, I'm Shannon, and I'm at an open house from 12 to 2, and I really would love to see you, right? And I get 3 people come through. The first person that comes through is my managing broker. I'm like, this is going well. I get some coffee, but I'm super grateful that he stopped by. The second person that they came through, their agent was out of town, so they came through even though it was the wintry weather. We had tons to talk about because everybody's off guard when they come in and have to take their boots off, and I'm kind of wiping up after them. And then the third person that came through was Wilfredo and Anna. And Wilfredo and Anna told me for about an hour how much they disliked the home and, went through all of the things. But Wilfredo and Anna did, during that time, I was able to talk to them about what they wanted out of their next home, and we were able to get them under contract. And the buyer that had come through, the one that I told you about, the agent was out of town, they put the offer on the house. So it was a fabulous blizzard weekend.
Awesome. I'm sure it was the Facebook Live and the hair in the snow, right?
Well, I think it's the power of mindset, right?
Sure,
so that's something that
absolutely.
I think that all agents need to do when you're going into these open houses is you need to really have a positive energy about yourself, that you're coming in there to help serve. So you're going to help serve the buyers and finding that their house, and you're going to help hopefully serve and getting the seller a perfect buyer for their home.
I think mindset is huge.
It is.
I sporadically visit open houses, and it's always interesting to me, not a Coldwell Banker agent. It's interesting to me sometimes how agents present themselves at open houses.
True.
I'm sure that you guys have seen that. I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching TV, I'm barely looking up. And so I'm just a buyer, or I'm just a consumer, and I walk through the house. But I have to just be careful not to go, do you really, I mean, come on.
Are you trying
Do you want
to sell this?
Are you trying to sell this, or what are
you
we
scared?
doing? So if you haven't visited an open house lately, check it out. That's your competition.
Yeah.
Know what you don't want to do,
Yes.
right?
That's absolutely true.
right? So Saturdays, Sundays, earlier, later, do you have a magic time?
I do look to see what's going on with the upcoming week. If you're in, sports season, it's probably a good idea to look at those things. But I think either day, I even sometimes do Fridays, but I like to do 12 to 2 or 1 to 3. But I've had successful agents have great outcomes at 11 to 1. So I really believe it's what you're doing ahead of time and what you're doing while you're there and the questions that you're asking. Like Tammy said, make sure that you're acknowledging the buyers and trying to talk to them. And your first question should not be, do you have an agent? Because they're going to be like, oh yeah, I don't want to talk to you, lady. I definitely have an agent. So you try to remember that, they're walking in and you want to hopefully help them. So if you keep a mindset of helping, that's probably going to go a lot longer,
Sure.
a better way.
All in the approach.
Yeah, all in the
right?
approach.
Okay, so we talked about the beginning.
Yes.
And then in the middle.
Yes.
So what's your follow-up after?
Yes. So you're going to have to do a lot of follow up with open house people because they don't know an agent probably for a reason, or they've decided not to work with an agent for a reason. So my follow up is usually you are going to ask for their information. You're going to have to give them an added value. So a lot of times I'll say, do you want to know about some of the coming soon listings in this neighborhood? Their usually answer is yes. Or if there's other areas you're interested in, I have some coming soon listings. So trying to give them a value add so that you get their information. Once you have their information, it's done with the open house, you immediately follow up. It was so great to meet you today at the open house. I'm looking forward to setting you up on your search, and I'll be reaching out to see if it's going well and what I can do to make it different. And remember, if there's any of those properties that pop up that you want to see, I'm here to get you in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add? And then we're going to open it up on the chat if there's any questions.
Just, stay positive and make sure that you know that you're probably going to have to connect with them probably an average of 8 to 10 times. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you just put it in your calendar that you're doing your open house follow up on Mondays or Tuesdays every week, then it doesn't feel like a lot. And, wait till they say no, until they say go away, then just keep following up. You're not doing anything. You're not spending any money, and it's just your time. I think that that's something with open houses. Also, for you agents trying to get open houses, the best thing you can do is give feedback after open houses. Listing agents love that. And make sure to ask the listing agent if they have listing concierge, if they have a package, they can share the flyer with you. So those are some helpful tips too for when you're hosting if it's not your listing.
Great tips. Todd, do we have any questions?
Online question.
Okay. Well, do we have any questions from the panel?
I do.
Okay.
How do you handle sign-in sheets, or do you do QR codes, and when do you kind of get
Right.
their contact info?
That's a great question, Preston. So I know on my team, Deb has done really successfully with the QR codes. I tend to do it in the notes of my phone. So I'll ask them for spelling and things like that, just so I feel like then they oftentimes don't. They give you the truth, so they're not lying. That sounds terrible, but I oftentimes put it in my phone. And when I ask them for their information is usually close to after when they're coming in, because they can, otherwise, if it does get busy, they can kind of slip off without you getting their information. And I just make it pretty casual. Thank you so much for coming into the open house. Can I get your information for the sellers? And that a lot of times will help too.
I give my digital business card, and I have to have their contact for the business card, and it's always based on something in the house. It could be a paint color that they're curious about. It could be just anything. Yes, coming soon listings, what's going on, neighborhood events. So I do that, and then I send them my digital card, and they have all of my contact info.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's been, I use Link. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Link or Popple.
Perfect.
Yep. And that's
Any
been a
other
good tool.
questions?
Hey, Tammy, there is a question.
Okay.
Is there any sort of formula to the number of open house signs that you place throughout to track to come to that
That's a great question. So I always make sure that the major cross sections are have the open houses on each side of it, because that way the direction of traffic. So you want to make sure and play Frogger and get it set up on the other side. Frogger, just for those younger people that don't know, that was the game system that used to get hit by a car by a frog. But so you want to set that up, and then you really want to make sure that anytime there's a turn that you have a sign. I know it can be a lot of signs, but if you miss that, they can get lost. And if you are getting that maybe 15% of the people that come through that's following an open house sign, they're also kind of fickle. So if they can't find it, they're not going to look hard if they're
And they need
coming
to
off
be the same
signs.
signs. I get so confused when other brokerages will have different open house signs for
Yeah.
the same open house. I'm like, no, you can't use red and blue. They have to be the same.
I agree with you. It's like keep it to make sure you
Yes.
have plenty of open house signs, or get those little yard things that, and make sure to ask the neighbor if you're going to put it in their yard.
Yeah.
So would you say on it like 8?
Average, I'd say on average, I do probably 8 is probably on average. But like the city of Castle Rock, you can have 1. So you want to make sure, and same with like backcountry, there's just certain areas, and if you put them up there, they don't call you, they just take your sign. So just make sure to ask the listing agent if you know of any sign restrictions.
Great. Any other questions?
That's what we have for now. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank
It's
you,
super
Tammy.
helpful. And
Thank you.
congratulations on all the listings, and congratulations on getting them under contract.
Oh, I'm so
Appreciate it.
happy. Thank you.
You bet. Again, thank you all so much. Chris, Ann, Preston, Lori, Shannon, thank you all so much. Fun visiting with you guys. Continue to practice that perfect pitch, and Shannon, just rock those open houses. Appreciate everything that you do at Coldwell Banker. If you need anything, you know how to find us. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you at the next Mile High View.